So we go off and you talk about you're big into economics. By the way, if anybody has a question, Richard Hanna, running for Congress. A couple of years ago, you were a long shot, and they said you didn't have a shot at it.
No, I was a long shot. That when I started that, I asked the consultant I was talking to, what are my chances of winning? And he said 0 to 25%. And I thought,
they give you 25%.
Well, I'm not that. I thought, well, that's 1 in 4. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But what that was really the wrong way to look at it.
Yeah.
But I know how to work. I know how to think, and I like where I am. And it was an entire out-of-body experience, parades and speeches, and I wrote everything with...
You were the most successful, one of the closest races, or the closest race in the country.
Yeah, that's why my wife calls me the number one loser.
The number one loser.
Not anymore, she doesn't call me that, but it was a little bit of a joke for a while.
And now this year, it looks like, you're right in the thick of things.
It's a number one race after Mr. Reed's race in the 29th in New York State that they think they can take back.
Yeah.
And it's also one of the top races in the country, which isn't always pleasant because it draws a lot of attention. And frankly, the races up here, my voters, my people I care about, want to represent, that I want to represent, are here. And all this noise in the background, all this anger and kind of vitriolic talk that flies all over the place. It's not what I like.
Do you, we'll go back to, you've really said that Arcuri has kind of flip-flopped. He
voted for the House bill, saying it. He's all over the news saying he would vote for anything was better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I announced Scott Brown wins in Massachusetts, and what's he do? He votes against the Senate bill, and his explanations are incoherent.
You say there were two different bills.
Two different bills. House bill, which was much more expensive, much more expansive, had the public option in it. The Senate bill comes along, doesn't have some of the things, isn't quite as expensive. Not something I would vote for, frankly, but
so the House bill was more. The House bill was more liberal.
Right. So where's the hypocrisy? It's with Mr. Arcuri.
Okay. So what though? Is there something to be said for? Let's say Mike Arcuri realized that voting the way he was voting was not voting the way of his district, and this is really the answer that he gave us when he was in here on Tuesday, was it? Mm-hmm. Basically saying, listen, my job is not to vote always the way I feel. I feel personally, but it's to represent my district. And I felt that the district did not believe in this, and I had to vote that way.
The district didn't believe in it when the House bill was passed either. The change is not some belief system that's out there that he somehow recognized one day that he didn't see the day before. That's ridiculous. What he is a human weather vane. He is sticking his finger in the air and saying, what do I have to do to get reelected? I announced Scott Brown wins in Massachusetts, and he votes against the Senate bill. And incidentally, don't forget, they had enough votes for it to pass.
Right.
Anybody who doesn't think these people get passes down there, and he's a Pelosi pet, so they're happy to have him get a pass when he needs one.
Do you believe that he that healthcare situation caused a lot of? There's a story that Arcuri has talked about, in that his mom found out that he was going to be. I don't know the whole story. I heard it secondhand. But his mom found out that he was going to be meeting with the president, and she was all excited. And he said, "Mom, this isn't a good meeting." The implication being that the White House, Pelosi, the Democrats, are very upset with him because he did not vote for.
Right.
Do you buy that?
Not at all. Read the Rothenberg report. They call Mr. Arcuri's actions anything but a profile in courage. It's a staged conversation. It's that simple. The Working Families Party knows it. The unions know it. He's taken $750,000 from unions, and he complains about money I contribute. People shouldn't be worried about where my money comes. I earned it. They should be worried about his money, not mine. And the Working Families Party's thrown him overboard because he betrayed them. He had told them for years he was going to support health care. And this country desperately needs health care reform. It is one of the single things that makes this country uncompetitive with the world. We spend 18%, 19% of our gross domestic product is health care. The rest of the world is someplace between 9 and 12. That gives us a big disadvantage. We need health care reform. But trial lawyers donate enormous money to Congress. They're the biggest contributors. You don't see tort reform, do you?
Right. I specifically, I'm going to have to take a break here, but I want you to think, and we'll come back for a few minutes. Specifically, what you would like to change, what your agenda will be, how things will be different under Congressman Hanna than they are under Congressman Arcuri. So think about that for a second. We'll take a break and come right back. Richard Hanna is running for Congress, the Republican, and it's a pretty tight race according to the polling. You can follow the polling and believe in it. I
don't even look at it because it's it's so nuanced some days, and other days it's a blunt instrument.
Just so you know, in our business, that's all we live on. Is polls. It's called ratings, and sometimes those polls are in your favor, and sometimes they're not. And I even my salary was based on it. My last contract, my salary was based on that. So sometimes you got some stuff, and sometimes you were taking a pay cut based on it. So it's not a world you want to live on.
I worked for myself all my life. There were weeks when I didn't get a paycheck because I had to give them to other people.
Yeah, but it wasn't there.
So, sure.
Think about that. And then I want to talk a little bit about your opinion on Palladino. If he is close, I want you to... he's in the party. He's quite a polarized character, and a lot of the party members are running from him. So we'll talk about that coming up. Hold on.
Lately, everything seems to focus on the world becoming smaller.
Works best rock all day long. And now, back to Keeler.
Always nice to open the mail and find nothing but bills.
Isn't that great? That's why I'm wicked excited when the mail doesn't come, when I don't get mail.
Richard, when you're doing those construction jobs, do they pay you? Do you get paid up front, or do you have to sit and wait for the check to come?
No, we actually have to do something for our money.
Oh, you do? That's true.
Unlike
we don't.
We would get a contract, and we would have to finish it, and they pay you as progress for what you've completed. That's typical.
How about tell me, when you have done government work, isn't it the slowest pay?
I can't say that. I wish people wouldn't say it, because it's not true. Working for the government, frankly, other than New York State's pretty slow, but the city of Utica, have done a lot of work for them, and
they pay their bill.
We work for the referral administration, and all the way through. Yeah, they pay when they pay. They have a process, and they don't spend money they don't have.
Was it hard working for your uncle?
I was always careful about it. Everything we ever did, we bid.
Right.
And there's always change orders. Some would bring the cost up, some would bring it down. But we bid jobs where we would be 25% low.
Right.
We provided value and good work. I've never had a complaint about our work, and frankly, where we did have some complaints, you always get a few, but the idea isn't that you don't make mistakes. The idea is that you fix your mistakes and you move on and you treat customers well. I've worked with the same people over and over and over.
Well, that's a good sign. My question really is, your uncle Ed Hanna was very particular. And when he got fixated on something, he'd follow those public works employees around.
Once he got an idea in his head, you couldn't slow him down.
That's why I'm saying, was it tough at times to please him?
Well, I've never gone in his office when he was mayor. I would bid the work, and I dealt with his administration exactly as the others. I dealt with the engineering company, and if you go to the engineering, they would tell you that we probably were more cautious. We absolutely were more cautious working for Edward. But I find it really shameful that Arcuri would try to besmirch or ruin my uncle's reputation when he's dead now and he can't defend himself. So they make these accusations. They know they're not true.
Right.
This is a desperate attempt on Arcuri's part to undo one of the things that I really have going for me, and that's a great business story in life history.